Good afternoon, Miss Bridgewater.
No.
You with me, Miss Bridgewater?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Your reset date for the SAP calendar is April the 22nd.
You
You're welcome.
and everyone. I guess we'll get started as soon as courtroom two gets on with this.
Your Honor, initially there's an issue going on with Julio Lopez. I was told secondhand that he needs an interpreter. That was the opinion of the jail staff up in Alpharetta. And then they were going to transport him physically from Alpharetta, so I wasn't going to get to see him
Get an
in
interpreter.
or breakout until 2 o'clock arrives. So I understand county funds are low and that we need
Okay.
minimize interpreters. So we're going to find out if Mr. Lopez needs an interpreter as soon as we meet him.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. McClellan.
Also, the other guy, John Lewis, is at Grady, Your Honor. We're probably going to have to put that over to him. Now, if Grady can, if I can get a phone number for talking to him at Grady, I can consent to a signature bond. That'd be great. But I will try to get a Grady number. Do the deputies have any Grady numbers? Oh, your audio is breaking up.
Sheriff's office at the present time.
I only heard the last. Make sure my phone's working good.
Can you hear me, Miss Bridgewater?
It's breaking up real bad.
Okay.
Hey, Mike.
Yes,
You and I received a consent bond order from Shelley Falk. It's for Mr. John Lewis.
I've
Is
discussed. Yeah, I've discussed it. Whether we're debating whether I can get a Grady phone number or whether to talk to him and consent to it because I haven't met him, or whether we just have to put it to tomorrow.
okay.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, courtroom two. Are we ready to proceed?
Yes, Judge Morrow, start.
Yes, good afternoon. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video. You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have a right to have an attorney present at these proceedings. We're providing you with the assistance of a public defender this afternoon if you choose to utilize their service. Who do we have here first?
Position 3, Judge.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Kwok. You've been charged in case 25 CR 001817D with criminal trespass and damage to property, simple battery, family violence, criminal trespass, and another criminal trespass and damage to property. So your history. Good afternoon, Mr. Howard. You're speaking. You're on mute, Mr. Howard.
19 total on probation in Cherokee County from the attempt to commit a felony. On probation in Gwinnett, arson in the 2nd degree, cruelty in the 1st degree. What else? 2024 probation, 2024 trespass conviction, 2024 battery DV, trespass damage conviction, 2023 couple of trespass convictions, simple assault DV conviction, 2018 cruelty in the 1st conviction, 2018 ag assault terroristic threats, 2 counts conviction, and a 2013 burglary, criminal damage to property and possession of tools conviction.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, Ms. Nalgiza.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. How are you?
Doing well, thank you.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident is from April 5th, 2025. The location is 3085 Empire Boulevard Southwest, Atlanta, Georgia. Your Honor, on the day of the incident, the defendant came to the location, which is his father's house. The father is the victim in this case. His name is Aziz Akwart Sr. The victim asked the defendant to leave, and he did. However, the defendant returned later on, and he began banging on the door and then the window. He entered the house through the kitchen window and damaged the kitchen sink. He then punched the victim in the face, and the victim asked him to leave. Officers found the defendant sitting in a chair in the back of the house when they arrived, and they arrested him. Your Honor, this defendant has 3 previous cases against the same victim. The most recent one is 24 CR 000277D. He was on probation for this case until January 26th, and he violated his terms by having contact with his father, Aziz Akwart Sr. Your Honor, we did speak with the victim, and he said that, they don't live together, but the defendant continues to come to the location, that he punched him multiple times when he tried to enter. He stated that the defendant has been back to the residence in damaging property at least 10 times since their last case in 2024, and that this is the first time the victim called the cops, but there are 3 small children that live in the residence, and that the defendant terrorizes them. Your Honor, the state's recommendation is a $2,000 cash bond, no further contact with Aziz Akwart Sr. Stay away from 3085 Empire Boulevard, Southwest Atlanta, Georgia. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons while on bond. The victim said he will be in Zoom. If we can please sound for Mr. Aziz Akwart Sr. And see if he wishes to speak.
Mr. Akwart Sr., I see you on the line. If you wish to address the court, now is your opportunity. I need for you to unmute yourself, activate your camera, and I'll have to swear you in if you choose to address the court. Yes, sir. If you could raise your right hand for me. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. What would you like to tell the court, sir?
My son has been diagnosed with issues, but he also has behavioral issues. I do not contest what the state has presented. That is the facts of the matter. We have on multiple occasions asked for some type of judicial enforcement for him to be in treatment. He has continuously come back to the residence because we have continuously tried to assist him in getting his life back together. That is not worked out for myself. That is not worked out for now the small children. That is what I wish to say.
Okay, thank you for being here this afternoon. I appreciate it. Mr. Chatai, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Judge Morrow. I'll give some background information about Mr. Acquart. He is 29 years old. He's been a Georgia resident for just under 10 years, so he does have ties to the community. In terms of his schooling, I understand he has a high school diploma and he has some college experience as well. He attended Morehouse College and Atlanta Metro. Currently, he does not have a job, and he tells me that he is on disability, so he receives disability checks. Your Honor, we ask this court to consider a surety bond in the region of $1,000 to $2,000, given my client's condition and the fact that he would struggle to pay any bond.
Yes, Your Honor. During his bond revocation on 2024, he was referred to Mercy House, which was modified from Trinity House.
Okay. I want him to have an MHET, Mr. Chatai. So if you can prepare that order for the court, I would appreciate it. It's going to be $1,000 good bond per charge, makes for a total of a $4,000 good bond. Stay away from the incident location. This time, no further contact with the alleged victim. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. And Ms. Bridgewater, if we can place him on a competency calendar and not the SAP calendar, please.
Okay, that'll be April the 9th.
Okay, and he'll go on the April 9th competency calendar. Mr. Chatai, if you'll get that MHET to Ms. Bridgewater to get to me for signature, please.
Yes, Your Honor.
Good luck to you, Mr. Court.
I got it. Next is position 9, Mr. Hancock.
Your Honor, while he's coming to the chair, let me mention that I have met Mr. Lopez over the phone, and he doesn't have any English.
Okay, so we'll need an interpreter for him either today or tomorrow. If we can't, we'll get one today.
Sure.
Okay, Judge, I'll try to contact someone.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Grace. Good afternoon, Mr. Hancock. You have been charged in case 25 CR 001821B with 3 counts of simple battery, and willful obstruction of law enforcement officers. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Well, on probation, criminal street gang activity. What else? Possession of a Schedule 1 or 2 with intent, possession of a knife or a firearm during the commission, theft by receiving, possession of a firearm by convicted felon. It's 24 SC 001495. 2024 probation, FTA, 2020 parole violation, 2013 FTA, 2012 robbery conviction.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Ms. Dunlap.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This incident date happened on April 4th, 2025, between Jackson Street and Edgewood Avenue. Officers pulled up to the scene and observed the male identified as defendant striking the person with a closed fist and kicking another male who was on the ground. Officers ran towards the defendant and the victim, identified as Mr. Justin Hayden. The defendant began running away as officers approached and gave lawful commands for him to stop while he continued to run. He attempted to jump into a red convertible, and as the car took off at a high speed rate, he fell off the car, in which officers were able to catch up to the defendant. Another officer arrived on the scene and they began speaking with the defendant about what happened. He stated he was driving down Edgewood Avenue when the victims, Mr. Samuel Green and Mr. Hayden, Justin Hayden, had thrown a bottle at him in his car. He got out of the car and began assaulting Mr. Green. He stated Mr. Hayden struck him with the bottle, so he began striking and kicking him as well. Officers checked out a video of the area, to which they were not able to see any bottle being thrown at the defendant, but they saw the defendant's passenger in the red convertible throw a bottle at a large group of people. When Mr. Green attempted to confront the defendant, he stepped out of the car, appearing to hold something. Officers think it was possibly a firearm, to which Mr. Green and Mr. Hayden began running away. Defendant got in his car, chased down Mr. Green, hopped out, and began striking and kicking him. Mr. Hayden attempted to intervene and striking the defendant to get him off his friend, to which he began striking and kicking Mr. Hayden as well. Another identified male joined in and striking the two victims. Our office did have a chance to speak to Mr. Hayden. He stated they do not know the defendant, confirmed the events of the police warrant. He stated the defendant and another individual had guns and pistol whipped him. Stated he is traumatized by the incident and now afraid to go out. He stated that he sustained a bruised eye, gashes on his arms, and bruises all over his body. He wants no contact with the victim with the defendant, and he will be on Zoom, so we signed for him when appropriate. Our office did also speak to Mr. Samuel Green. He also confirmed the events in the warrant. He stated he doesn't know the defendant as well. He stated the defendant tried to run over him with his car and that he sustained a swollen eye and jaw. The victim also wants no contact with the defendant and said he will be on Zoom as well and will sign for him when appropriate. Based on his criminal history and allegations in the warrant, the state is looking for a $10,000 surety bond on this case. No further contact with Justin Hayden. No further contact with Samuel Green. 1-day anchor awareness. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. And we could sign for Mr. Hayden and Mr. Green when appropriate.
Mr. Justin Hayden and Mr. Samuel Green would like to address the court. Now is your opportunity. I need for you to, if you would like to, unmute yourself, activate your camera, and I'll have to swear you in.
Good afternoon, Judge.
Good afternoon, Mr. Hayden. If you can raise your right hand for me, please.
Yes, sir.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can place your hand down. What would you like to tell the court, sir?
I would just like to address the court and let them know that I am a disabled veteran, newly married, and I now have a child on the way. And given the circumstances of the area that I was in, the situation was completely unprovoked. I did not throw any type of object at the defendant or anything of the sort. The object actually came from the roof of the building and struck the car, and that caused them to get out and throw bottles at the crowd. They started waving guns at the crowd, causing us to all run. And that's basically it.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hayden. I appreciate you being here.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chatai?
Yes, Your Honor. My client has strong ties to the community. He is a lifelong resident of Atlanta. He's 31 years old. He got through school. He got through the 11th grade and he has a GED. And my understanding is that he's self-employed. He has his own LLC. It's called Hancock Do It All. And with that business, he does home improvement projects. He's been doing that for 2 years now. He cleans gutters. He does electrical wiring, flooring, and other home improvement projects. Given his strong ties to the community and his stable job history, Judge, I asked the court to consider a surety bond that's between $1,000 and $2,000.
All right, for the battery, it'll be a $2,000 good bond. For each of the other charges will be a $1,000 good bond. Makes for a total of a $6,000 good bond. No further contact with Mr. Hayden or Mr. Green. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Hancock. Who do I have with me in courtroom 1 today?
That's Mr. Lopez, probably.
Judge, I have Lucia said she'll be signing on in about 10 minutes.
Next
Okay.
is the court, Mr. Blair.
Okay, so did you heard that, courtroom 1, that as soon as we get the interpreter, we'll put y'all in there. Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Tell me again. I'm sorry, courtroom 2. Who do I have?
Position 4, Mr. Blair.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Blair. You have been charged in case 25 CR 001818F with simple battery, family violence, and simple battery against a person who was 65 years or older or who was pregnant. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
31 on probation. Simple assault, family violence out of the cab. 2021 simple battery dismissed. 2015 and 13 FTA. 06 battery simple battery conviction and wanted out of the cab.
Thank you. Ms. Melgizo?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident is from April 5th, 2025. The location is 741 Morosco Drive, Northeast, Atlanta, Georgia, 30324. Your Honor, the defendant and the victim lived together at the location. According to the victim, the defendant came home drunk and they got into a dispute. The defendant pushed the victim and she fell onto the couch. The victim is currently 10 or 11 weeks pregnant with the defendant's child. Your Honor, the state's recommendation is a $3,000 surety bond, no further violent contact with Acura Hugger, which is the victim in this case. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons while on bond. We did get a chance to speak with the victim. She said that they're in a relationship, they live together. She confirmed that she's currently pregnant with the defendant's child. She confirmed the events in the warrant. The victim did say that she will be on Zoom if we can sound for her whenever appropriate, in case she wishes to speak. Her name is Akira Hugger.
Ms. Hugger is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity to do so. Yes, ma'am. If you'll raise your right hand for me. The other right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
All right, you can place your hand down, ma'am. What would you like to tell the court?
Um, I've never really dealt with any of this before. He's never done anything to me before. That's the father of my child. I still love him, and I just hope, whatever does happen today, that it's not anything like severe, anything crazy. He's a good man. He is, moving up in his job. He's helping me out, and I think maybe it was just a bad night.
Ms. Huger, can you tell me what happened?
Exactly what the other lady was saying. I don't think there's anything more than that.
Okay. Are you afraid? Are you afraid of him?
No, I'm not afraid of Eric.
And has this ever happened before?
No, sir, never.
How many children do you have with him?
This is my first child ever.
Oh, okay. Congratulations, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
And do you wish to have contact with him at the present time?
I do, yeah, I do.
All right. Thank you for being here, ma'am. Mr. Chatai.
Yes, Judge. We asked the court to consider a $1,000 surety bond for Mr. Blair. He's 39 years old. He has lived in Georgia for 7 years now. I believe he lives in DeKalb. He has a high school diploma, and for the past 6 months, he has worked as a crew lead at Mr. Car Wash. Given those factors, I asked the court to consider the 1,000 surety bond instead of the state's recommendation of a 3,000 surety.
For each charge, it will be $1,000 good bond, makes for a total of a $2,000 good bond. No further violent contact with Ms. Huger, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you both.
How much you said? How much?
Mute courtroom 2. we have courtroom 2? You're on mute.
Position 5, sorry, Mr. Brady.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Bray. You've been charged in case 25 CR 001819C with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Yeah. Bray, hold on. Which number is this? 5? Bray.
Yes.
22. On probation for shoplifting out of state court. 2022 trespass conviction. 2019 probation. 2014 armed robbery conviction. And he has a probation warrant.
Ms. Melgizo?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident is from April 5th, 2025. The location is Embassy Suites, located at 267 Marietta Street Northwest, Atlanta, Georgia, 30313. On the day of the incident, the defendant was asked to leave the location because he was causing a commotion with customers, but he refused. The security officer at the location, Mr. Benitez, told officers exactly that the defendant was causing a commotion. He asked him to leave multiple times, and the defendant refused. The defendant was still at the location when officers arrived, and he was arrested. Your Honor, the state's recommendation is a $1,000 surety bond. Stay away from Embassy Suites, located at 267 Marietta Street, Northwest, Atlanta, Georgia. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons while on bond.
The open theft by shoplifting, Ms. Melgizo, do you have that bond? Oh, he's on probation for that. Okay. Thank you. Mr. Chatai?
Yes, Judge. Since this is a criminal trespass charge, I ask the court to consider a signature bond, otherwise the lowest surety amount possible, and that's reasonable to secure Mr. Bray's return. Mr. Bray is 32 years old. He is a lifelong resident of Atlanta, Georgia. He has strong ties to the community here. He got through school as far as the 8th grade. And in terms of his work history, he has been working at a restaurant as a dishwasher for the past 5 weeks, and he's hoping to maintain that. For those reasons, Judge, I ask the court to consider a signature bond.
Okay, it'll be a $250 good bond. Stay away from the Embassy Suites on Marietta Street. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck, Mr. Bray.
Next is position 2. Ms. Alexander.
Good afternoon, Ms. Alexander. You have been charged in case 25 CR 001816J with battery. It's my understanding that this is Ms. Alexander's first arrest. Ms. Melgizo?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident is from April 6, 2025. The location is the Applebee's, located at 3690 Cascade Road, Southwest, Atlanta, Georgia. Your Honor, the defendant and the victim in this case is Ms. Rainwater. They worked together at the Applebee's. While working, the defendant verbally demanded that the victim and another employee move out of her way. And a verbal altercation between the parties took place. The defendant followed the victim into the kitchen, where the verbal altercation continued. Shortly after exiting the kitchen, the defendant struck the victim, which resulted in visible injuries. The victim sustained a knot to her forehead and approximately a 1-inch scratch to the left side of her nose. Another witness confirmed that the defendant struck the victim first and provided restaurant surveillance footage supporting this account. Your Honor, we spoke with the victim, and she confirmed the events in the warrant. She stated that they never had issues before, but she doesn't want any further contact with the defendant. The state's recommendation is a signature bond through pretrial, no further contact with Ms. Rainwater, stay away from the Applebee's at 3690 Cascade Road Southwest, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond. I am not sure if the defendant was fired from the Applebee's, and the victim is also not sure. We can sound for Miss Rainwater in case she's present and wishes to speak.
Rainwater's on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity. Mr. Chatai?
Thank you, Your Honor. Miss Alexander is 18 years old. She was born and raised in Atlanta. She's graduating high school this year. She attends Foothills Virtual High School, and she's worked at that Applebee's for about 3 months now. My understanding is that she still works there and asked the court to consider a no further violent contact order instead. And finally, my client is hoping to attend college. She would like to study business administration and management, and perhaps even cosmetology. For those reasons, Judge, I ask just for a no further violent contact order, and we don't object to the state's signature bond request.
Okay, is Miss Sharon Oliver on the line?
I'm sorry, my camera, my video didn't have sound. My name is Rainwater.
Okay, yes, Miss Rainwater. If you like, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, if you raise your right hand for me, do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yeah.
Okay, you can place your hand down. Yes, Miss Rainwater, what would you like to tell the court?
Basically, we were exchanging words. She was upset. She was trying to get through the kitchen. Me and my other coworker, apparently we didn't get out of her way fast enough. She had a lot to say. She came on the floor and we had more words. I went into the kitchen. We were in the kitchen, we having words, and I came out. I walked off. I thought it was over. We came back onto the floor. She was still yelling in person, and she struck me mid-sentence. She also tried to flee the scene and have somebody pick her up. Well, one of my other coworkers to drive her home. I had to come outside. Luckily, the officers were pulling up because she was trying to get away. I feel like there were multiple ways she could have handled the situation. She didn't have to put her hands on me. She was out of line. She has
Okay.
been. I went to my job today. She has been fired, and I don't want any contact with her, and she's not allowed to come back to the Applebee's.
Okay, thank you for being here this afternoon, Miss Rainwater.
Thank you.
Okay, if Miss Sharon Oliver is on the line and wishes to address the court.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Can you come
Okay.
on video? Can you come on video for me?
Well, I'm sitting in my car and it's not letting me come in, so I don't know how to do that because there it goes. Okay, cool. Hi,
Okay.
I'm Sharon Oliver. I'm Zanae's guardian.
Okay, hold on, Miss Oliver. Raise your right hand for me. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, you can place your hand down, ma'am. What were you saying?
Okay. I've had Zanae all of her life. Zanae is not a what you might call physical like type person. But if she's backed up against the wall, she will come out swinging. I don't know what made her even swing at anybody because that's not even her character. So I hope and pray even after this that this be a lesson learned for her, that you can handle situations a little different. You don't have to use physical altercation. So I hope this is a learning experience for her.
Okay, Miss Oliver, Miss Alexander lives with you, is that correct?
That's correct.
All right, and you are her guardian?
I am.
All right, I'm gonna let her out on a signature bond, but I'm gonna require that you be the adult co-signer, okay?
Okay.
And Mr. Chatai, do you have Miss Oliver's information to get in touch with her?
I do, Your Honor.
Okay, so Mr. Chatai will be in touch with you to maybe help you and give you more information regarding retrieving Miss Alexander. Thank you for being here, Miss Oliver.
Okay. I thank you all so much. Have a great day.
You do the same. Let's see. It's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1 with the adult co-signer of Sharon Oliver. I want her to have 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Miss Rainwater, stay away from the Applebee's on Cascade Road, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Miss Alexander. Who do we have next?
Position 6, Mr. Campbell.
Good afternoon, Mr. Campbell. You've been charged in case 25 CR 001822G with battery family violence and simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Yeah, Shatai, I sent you the link last week, so just pull the email I sent you and just
Okay.
reuse that one.
All right, then.
18 total.
Is it always the same link?
Yes,
Okay, all right.
18 total. Possession of a Schedule 1 seatbelt violation, drug-related objects. That's open in Superior Court. It's 24 PI 006077. 2024 FTA probation. 2021 FTA. 2020 shoplifting conviction. 2020 simple battery DV. Hindering 911 call conviction. And a couple of probations from 2013.
Thank you. Ms. Melgizo?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident is from March 23rd, 2025. The location is 2205 Union Road, Southwest Atlanta, Georgia. Your Honor, the defendant and the victim live together. The victim is the defendant's mother. On the day of the incident, the defendant became upset after the victim grabbed his phone by mistake. The defendant pushed the victim and struck her and scratched her on the face. The victim sustained an abrasion under her eye. Your Honor, this defendant also has a 2020 conviction for simple battery against his father. The case is 20 CR 004146G. We spoke with the victim, and she told us that they live together. She stated that she picked up the defendant's phone by mistake. She called the police because the defendant was agitated and making threats. But she wants to have further contact with the victim, and she does want him to return to the residence. Your Honor, the state's recommendation is a $2,000 surety bond. No further violent contact with Miss Barbara Campbell, the victim in this case. No alcohol, drugs, or weapon while out on bond. Miss Barbara Campbell said that she may be on Zoom if we can sound for her in case she wishes to be heard.
Campbell is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity. Mr. Chatai?
Yes, Judge. My client is 40 years old. He has strong ties to the community. He is a lifelong Atlanta resident. He's never lived anywhere else. He has a high school diploma. And he also has some credits from Atlanta Metro College. He says he studied customer service there for a little bit. For the past 2 or 3 years, he has owned his own shuttle service and he drives cabs. And we asked the court to consider a no further violent contact order instead, given that my client would have nowhere else to stay if he were told to have no further contact.
Hello?
Give me a moment, Ms. Campbell. Hold on.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Right.
No, you're fine.
For those reasons, Judge, I asked the court to consider a $1,000 surety bond instead.
And Ms. Campbell, if you would like to address the court, I'm happy to hear from you, but you'll have to come on camera for me.
Okay, so I don't know. Okay, what do I push to come on camera? Start my video?
You can start, you can try there. Okay, there you go. All right, can you raise your right hand for me, please, ma'am? The other hand.
Right. Oh, I'm so sorry. Like you told the other lady, the other right hand. Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Campbell. Now you're fine, ma'am. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can place your hand down, Ms. Campbell. What would you like to tell me?
Ricky suffers from schizophrenia, bipolar and schizophrenia. He won't take his meds. He takes them along with other stuff, drugs, I guess you'd say. But me and my husband, we've been working with him constantly calling his probations, calling people, trying to get him help. He's been like diagnosed, and I think in '05 when he went to the Navy, and he came back, and he's been diagnosed with schizophrenia after that. And we're trying our best to get him some help. He gets very verbal and wow, very, very disrespectful when he can't have his way or when he can't get his drugs or whatever, I guess. And I'm not, I mean, he's a nice, respectable young man, but he got some issues that definitely need to be worked on. And we've been trying our best, me and my husband, and my mom lives here with us. And I told him he can't bring that verbal in I mean, when I tell you he's off the chain, he comes with that mouth of his when things don't go his way. And then another time, it's just like, wow, who is this person? He's pretty cool and all, but we just can't deal with the threats, the all in your face, the drug use, and we tell him, get your job, but his attention span is so short to that schizophrenia, huh? That's what it said. My husband was saying he can't hold no job, but the schizophrenia is I think the medicine ain't working because he's trying to take drugs with it. So I know he didn't mean to scratch me or whatever, but that's just how intense he gets. He yanked the phone from me and it went across my face and this and that, but I didn't know that they had made this case like that. I didn't know that. But we're just trying to get him some help, Judge. I've been calling. I have called down to the court. I have called this probation, trying to get him in a facility to get him some help. He is on disability. And, we've just been working. We have control of his money. So, of course, he gets totally upset when he can't get it. We just helped him get him a car so that he can get around and do things. But he's just doing the wrong things with the car pretty much.
Okay, so Ms. Campbell, if he does get out, is he welcome back in your household or not?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes,
Ms. Campbell, he's gonna get a surety bond today, but I'm gonna also order that he have a social worker visit. I will personally see him again if he does not get out on April 22nd. And after I have the social worker visit with him, they will be able to advise me regarding some help for him if he remains in custody until that time. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ms.
Yes,
Burgess,
sir.
you on with me, Ms.
Ms.
Burgess?
Campbell, can you put your number in the chat for me?
Put my number where?
This is the social worker, Ms. Campbell. So if you can put your number, there's a chat feature on the phone, and if you can give her your number, she'll be able to communicate with you.
Oh Lord. Okay. I I don't know where that is. Okay, you can always ask him. I don't know.
I'll
I don't know.
We can send you the number.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, Miss Campbell, we have your number. We can send it to Miss Burgess.
We want him to get help. He needs help. I mean, this drug use and stuff, he needs help. And like I said, if you really get to know him, he's a pretty good guy, but he just gets so agitated because his medicine ain't working along with the drugs he's taking. Okay.
We'll see what we can do, Ms. Campbell. Thank you for being
Judge,
here.
I appreciate you. I thank you so much, Judge.
You're welcome, ma'am. All right, so for the battery, it'll be a $2,000 good bond. For the simple battery, it'll be a $1,000 good bond. That makes for a total of a $3,000 good bond. I want him to have a social worker visit to assess for VHET. No further violent contact with Ms. Campbell or anyone else in the household. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. As I said, if he does not get out, I will see him again personally on April 22nd at the SAP calendar. All right, good luck to you all. And Mr. Campbell, Mr. Chatai will call you. I think he's indicating for someone to call him as well. Okay. All right, good luck to you all.
Thank you, Judge. I appreciate you. I look forward to seeing you.
Yes, ma'am. You as well.
What do I do? How do I get off of here?
Next is position 7.
What number?
I believe it's 7. Is this Christopher Ganji? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, yes. Good afternoon, Mr. Ganji. You've been charged in case 25 CR 001811Y with criminal trespass, loitering and prowling, and theft by taking. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
14. 2023 possession of meth, that was dismissed. 2017-18 probation. 2015 FTA. 2012 simple battery DV arrest.
Afternoon, Ms. Falk.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. How are you?
I'm well. Hope you are as well.
Thank you. This incident happened on April 5th, 2025 at 2500 North Point Court, which is EB Japanese Cuisine. It was approximately 12:24 a.m. Officers received a call from Xinwei Yin, that is XINYUEYIN. He is the owner of EB Japanese Restaurant, and he had received notice from his restaurant cameras that someone was on his back patio in a Nissan Leaf. The officers then pulled over that vehicle that was still on the property and spoke with the defendant, who was the driver. They saw a large piece of metal gutter in the defendant's back seat that still was covered in pollen. The owner, Mr. Yin, identified that metal gutter piece as belonging to his business. He actually went back and reviewed the video as he was talking to the officers and was able to identify that that was the piece that had been removed from his restaurant. The defendant, as you heard, had 13 cycles. He does have a September 2018 probation violation out of Fayette County, a July 2017 probation violation out of Gwinnett County, and a forgery first offender, forgery in the first degree in Gwinnett in, I believe that was 2016. However, it does not show that that first offender is closed. It actually stated it was told on the GCIC I was reviewing. He also has a 2014 FTA. Currently, the defendant is being held on a $10,000 surety bond. We are agreeing to reduce that to a $1,500 surety bond, $500 per count. Stay away from 2500 North Point Court, Alpharetta, the entire shopping center complex. Currently, that location is under construction, and there's a lot of metal and items that are currently out as part of that construction effort. So we do want him to stay away from that location altogether. No further contact with Xinwei Yin, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. We're also requesting an anti-theft course, given his prior conviction for forgery in the first degree. We would like to sound for Mr. Yin at this time, and that's all for the state.
Mr. Yen is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity. Mr. McLean?
Thank you, Honor. Mr. Ganji has been in Georgia 39 years, bachelor's degree, Art Institute of Music and Composition, teaches guitar for the last 11 years. We'd ask the court to consider that signature bond.
All right, it'll be a $500 good bond per charge, makes for a total of a $1,500 good bond. Stay away from the incident location, the entire mall, no further contact with the alleged victim, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, sir.
Next is position 8, Ms. Green.
Good afternoon, Ms. Green. You have been charged in case 25 CR 001820J with battery family violence and simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Second. Got an open ag assault, possession of a firearm or knife during the commission. It's 24 SC 000086.
Ms. Dunlap?
Thank you, Your Honor. This incident date happened on April 5th, 2025 at 3372 Atkins Road, Northwestern Atlanta. Officers were dispatched to the address regarding a physical altercation. They spoke with the victim, a Miss Malaya Prather, Maliyaah, last name Prather, who was bleeding from her right calf. She had kicked in her window after the defendant, who was her mother, pushed her out of the house and locked the door. This is an altercation that occurred in front of Miss Prather's friend and witness, Alicia Bell. A defendant had told Miss Prather she could have company and go to a party, to which she quickly changed her mind because the victim's room wasn't clean and ensued an argument. She then pushed her out the door, locked her outside, and as Miss Prather banged on the front door, she ended up kicking the window out, to which the defendant went outside and began attacking her, punching her, and scratching her. The victim is 17. So the state is looking for a $2,000 surety bond on this case, 1-day anger awareness, no further violent contact with Malia Prather. Obviously, we're not asking for a stay away because she's a minor, but if there is any defects order on this case, we ask that the defendant comply with any defects orders in relation to this case. Again, we're unaware if there is, we're just stating it for the record, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond.
Mr. Chatai?
Yes, Judge, I ask the court to consider the lowest surety amount possible for this case. Ms. Green has ties to the community. She's been an Atlanta resident for the last 21 years. She is currently 41 years old. In terms of her schooling, she has some college under her belt. She studied nursing for 1.5 years at Salem State University. Currently, she works at Behavioral Health Case Management. She is a supervisor there. For those reasons, we ask the court to consider the lowest surety bond. Thank you.
For the battery, it'll be $1,000 good bond. For the simple battery, a $500 good bond. Makes for a total of a $1,500 good bond. No further violent contact with Ms. Prather. 1-day anger awareness. Comply with any orders of defects. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond.
Your Honor, I may have forgot. I know we didn't get in touch with her, but I just may have forgotten to sound for the victim. She may be in school, but can we just sound for her just in case?
If
Malia Prather.
Malia is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity. Okay, good luck to you, Ms. Green.
Next is position 21. Ms. Wright.
Good afternoon, Ms. Wright. You have been charged in case 25 CR 001807J with battery family violence. Your history, Mr. Howard?
Second. 2015 theft.
Ms. Falk?
Your Honor, can I also inquire if Francis Taylor is in courtroom 2 and can come forward because this is a co-defendant case?
He is.
And that way, Your Honor can hear the facts of the case and make a determination as to defendants.
Thank you, Ms. Falk. Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Taylor. You have been charged in case 25 CR 001808C with battery family violence and simple battery family violence. Does he have a history, Mr. Howard?
We on Taylor? 2009 probation and FTA.
Okay, and let's see, who's representing Mr. Taylor? Ms. McLeod, are you on with me? Or someone's representing Ms. Taylor and someone's representing Ms. Wright, I take it. Who's representing Mr. McLean? Who are you, Ms. McLeod, who are you representing?
I am representing
Ms. Wright.
my client's name is Wright, Miss Wright.
Okay, so Ms. Wright is before me. I just want to make sure that all the attorneys are here. Mr. McLean, are you representing Mr. Taylor?
He is, Judge.
Okay, I have to get him with me, otherwise we're gonna have to do this twice.
I see him here
Okay.
on the Zoom.
Mr. McLean, are you with me?
Yes, Your Honor. Grady's also on the other line. They're trying to get John Lewis on the phone, but I just put them on hold.
Okay, I'll need for you to be with me at this hearing. This is your client, Mr. Taylor, and we also have the co-defendant, Ms. Wright. So Ms. Falk is about to make her presentation.
Right is a conflict, correct?
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Falk. You can proceed.
Your Honor, this happened April 6, 2025 at 2583 Stone Road in East Point. Officers spoke to defendant Wright first, who was sitting on the porch and crying. She stated she was in her house lying down when the defendant Taylor began arguing with her and took her phone. Defendant Wright then stated that she tried to retrieve her phone and defendant Taylor pushed her to the ground, pulled out her braids, and threw her across the room. Officers did observe a cut to defendant Wright's left eye and a laceration to her right forearm. Officers then went and talked to defendant Taylor, who they observed had cuts and bruises on his body and was dripping blood from his right arm. Defendant Taylor stated that he was on the phone when defendant Wright came outside and began striking him. Defendant Wright then countered and stated she called the police when defendant Taylor began to choke her and she could not breathe. As you have heard, defendant Wright has a previous arrest for theft, and this is her second arrest. Defendant Taylor has 8 cycles, a 2009 FTA, 2009 probation violation, 2011 conviction for obstruction, disorderly conduct, and criminal trespass, a 2010 DUI conviction, and a 2009 suspended license conviction. The state is asking for on defendant Taylor a $3,000 surety bond, $2,000 on the family violence battery, $1,000 on the simple battery, no further contact with Letitia Wright, and stay away from that address unless the residence is in his name. 2 days of anger management, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Defendant Wright, we are requesting a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial services, no further contact with defendant Taylor. 2 days anger management, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. And this may be an opportunity for the PD and the conflict attorney to help determine who is actually the owner of that residence, because that will help us determine who the stay away will apply to. That's all for the state.
Your Honor, my understanding is that it is a gentleman's house. However, my client tells me that she would prefer no further violent contact because that's where she lives. She doesn't have anywhere else to go. And she said she really did not intend to call the police. She has expressed regret at calling the police because she didn't know that her phone was on. She really didn't intend to call, and they were just having a disagreement. And she wants to continue to have contact. We're okay with the signature bond.
Mr. McLean?
Thank you, Your Honor. Yes, Francis Taylor is 49. That is his address. He has a culinary degree, associate arts from, let's see, he went to Cordon Bleu. He went to Boston University and has a degree in sociology and early childhood education as well. But right now he's a chef and has been for 20 years at a major restaurant. We would ask the court under these circumstances to consider a signature bond for him and no further violent contact.
And Your Honor, regardless of what the court determines, we are still asking for a stay away for Miss Wright, since this is defendant Taylor's home, because of the fact that this just happened yesterday. And I understand that this was a disagreement, but the officers literally observed bruises all over the bodies of both of these individuals. And in the case of Mr. Taylor, he was dripping blood. So this got escalated too far beyond what I would consider a normal disagreement.
Okay, thank you. For position 18, Mr. Taylor, for the battery, it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. For the simple battery, $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1, makes for a total of a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. 1 day anger awareness, no further contact at this time with Ms. Wright, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. For Ms. Wright, position 21 will be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1, 1 day anger awareness, no further contact with Mr. Francis Taylor, stay away from the 2583 Stone Road address. She can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you both, Mr. Taylor and Ms. Wright.
Your Honor, she has 2 charges. Break those down for me, please.
On the calendar, I only have 1 charge for Ms. Wright.
You know what? You are absolutely correct.
Okay, can I hear that again, Ms. Bridgewater?
You are absolutely correct, Your Honor.
Okay.
I have it as a $3,000 SOB through pretrial.
Okay, thank you. I just so rarely get to hear that from you.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. ACDC before you. How are you, sir? And
I'm
everybody.
doing well, Officer Milton. Thank you. Who do we have?
Position number 14, LaQuasto, and her co-defendant is in courtroom 2.
Okay, LaQuasta. And
Can we get the interpreter and whoever her Spanish guy interpreter?
okay, do we have the interpreter on the line yet? Has
Yeah,
you joined us?
Good afternoon, Your
Okay.
Honor.
Okay. Are you going to need the interpreter, Mr. McLean? For you, is this your client?
Yes, Mr. Lopez is my client.
Okay. Before you do that, though, I want to make sure who do we have in courtroom 2?
I think that is Mr. LaCosta, my client, Your Honor.
Okay, and who's representing Ms. LaCosta?
I do, Your Honor.
Okay, so I don't want to let you go until I do this case. Then
Sure.
I'll put you to the breakout room. Okay.
Okay. Very good.
All right. So, and what position is Mr. LaCosta?
He's position 4 on the add-on calendar, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Let's see. Mr. Lou LaCosta, position 4 on the add-on. You are charged with in case 25 CR 001813C with simple battery, family violence, and criminal trespass. Ms. Lauren LaCosta, position 14 on the regular calendar, ma'am. You are charged in case 25 CR 001814G with battery, family violence, and simple battery, family violence. It's my understanding.
It's a first for her. For him, he has 4 total. He don't have any violence. So.
All right, very good. Thank you, Mr. Howard. Yes, Ms. Fall.
Yes, Your Honor. So this happened April 4th, 2025 at 800 Hedgegate Court in Roswell. Both the LaQuastos were interviewed. Defendant Lauren LaQuasto stated that the defendant had taken her phone. She couldn't find it. They were arguing. The argument became physical. And during the fight for the phone, she was knocked down, jammed her finger, and hit her head onto the ground. She did admit that she had slapped defendant Lou LaQuasto several times during the incident. Initially, defendant Lou LaQuasto did not give a statement, but eventually did make a statement that he had taken her phone and put it on top of the hutch out of her reach because she was in a manic state and he did not want her to call any relatives or children while in that condition. Defendant Lou LaQuasto claimed he did not touch defendant Lauren LaQuasto, but admitted the incident began after he took her phone. Defendant Lou LaQuasto did have a bruise on his eye and a scratch on his lower right cheek. Defendant Lauren LaQuasto did not have any injuries. As you heard, defendant Lauren LaQuasto has 0 cycles. Defendant Lou LaQuasto, his only cycle in the last 20 years was a hit and run from 2018, which was NOD'd. So based on that, as well as the cooling off period, this happened on the 4th. They were taken into custody in the early morning hours of the 5th and have been in custody since then. The state's recommendation is a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial services for both. It'll be $1,500 as to each charge for both. No further violent contact with one another, 1-day anger management for both individuals, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Unless the defense wants to stay away, the state believes that these two, based on the complete lack of history and the fact that they've been in custody for the last 2 days, can continue to cohabitate unless there is some issue that the state is unaware of. That's all for the state.
Thank you. Ms. McLeod?
We are fine with no further violent contact. In fact, that is what my client wishes. This is his wife, and he tells me that he loves her and he wants them to continue to live together as a family. They actually share 5 children.
Okay, Mr. McLean?
We consent.
All right, so for position 14 on the regular calendar, Ms. Lauren Lacosto, for the battery, it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. For the simple battery, a $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. Makes for a total of a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. 1-day anger awareness, no further violent contact with Lou Lacosto, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. For Lou Lacosto, position 4 on the add-on calendar for the simple battery will be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. For the criminal trespass, a $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. Makes for a total of a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. 1-day anger awareness, no further violent contact with Ms. Lauren Lacosto, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you both.
Thank you, Your Honor. That concludes my business before the court today. May I be excused?
Yes, thank you, Ms. McLeod. We appreciate your help this afternoon.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
You do the same. Mr. McLean, let's go ahead and place you into that breakout room with Madam Interpreter and courtroom 1, I believe. So
Okay. I'll have Grady call me back because I was about to meet Mr. Lewis on the phone, but this is going to take a minute for the interpretation, so I think I should have Grady call me back.
okay, if you that's what you believe is best. So can we take some cases that are not Mr. McLean's cases, please? And let's see if we can go ahead and have them placed into the breakout room.
I have position 10, Mr. Hardy here.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Hardy. You've been charged in case 25 CR 001823F with battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Section 2023, violence by strangulation of suffocation, Alabama.
Ms. Dunlap?
Yes, it's my case, Your Honor. This incident date happened on April 5th, 2025 at 443 Dargan Place, Southwest in Atlanta. Officers responded to this address regarding a domestic dispute. They made contact with the victim, a Miss McKagan Williams, McKegan, who stated she was assaulted by the defendant, who was her boyfriend. He punched her several times after she found him and her female roommate in bed with each other. There was an earlier verbal dispute to which the victim left the residence and took a walk to avoid an altercation. She came back to a locked apartment to which the defendant's friend from Alabama let her in. The defendant came out of the bedroom upset the friend had let her in, and she noticed the female roommate in bed under the blanket. Another verbal argument ensued, to which turned physical when he started punching her, causing bruising to her face and nose. The assault was recorded by the victim's friend who was on the phone, and the defendant left that location after with his friend from Alabama. Our office did have a chance to speak to the victim. She stated that her and the defendant are in a relationship. They live together. They share no children. She confirmed the events in the warrant. She stated nothing like this has happened before. She's not in fear of the defendant, wants to continue contact. She said that she does want the defendant to return back to the residence. She will be on Zoom so we can sound for her when appropriate. Given this happened 2 days ago, our office is still looking for a cooling off period between the two. So we're going to request a $2,000 surety bond on this case, a no further contact with McKagan Williams, a stay away from the 443 Dargan Place, Southwest in Atlanta, 1-day anger awareness, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond, if we can sound for Ms. Williams when appropriate.
Ms. Williams is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity.
Hello.
Yes, good afternoon, Ms. Williams. Can you raise your right hand for me, please, ma'am? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, you can place your hand down. Thank you, ma'am. What would you like to tell the court?
Nothing like this has ever happened before. I think at the time he was just upset. I don't wish for him to like have a stay away order or anything. I think he's had enough time to reflect on his actions and yeah,
Okay, so you're not afraid of him,
no, sir.
and this has never happened before,
No, sir.
and you like him back in the household.
Yeah, he's okay.
Okay, thank you for being here this afternoon, ma'am.
Yes.
Mr. Chatai, is this your case?
Your Honor, Mr. Hardy informed me that he had a private attorney. So I tried reaching out to this attorney earlier today. I was not able to get in touch with them, and I was still expecting them to be here at this hearing. So I didn't have a chance to interview Mr. Hardy about his case.
What's the attorney?
Mr. Hardy gave me a number. The individual's name is Taylor, but I don't know the attorney's name.
Okay. So you called a number without having a name attached to it?
Right. Well, I mean, that's the contact person that Mr. Hardy gave me. He just told me to
Okay.
ask for Taylor, and then that would lead to me getting in touch with his attorney. But it looks like the attorney's not here, even though I expected him to be. So
Okay.
I'm still here to help him. I can interview him if necessary.
I'm gonna give him a signature bond, given that that's the, well, I'm sorry, Ms. Dunlap, what was your recommendation as far as bond goes?
I had recommended a surety bond just based on the open case in Alabama, just history.
Okay, and that's not a conviction, I don't believe. I just believe that is,
No.
it was an arrest. It's gonna be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1 day anger awareness, no further violent contact with Ms. Williams, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. All right, good luck to you, Mr. Hardy. You as
Yep.
well, Ms. Williams.
That's per judge.
Who do we have next?
Position 1, Miss On.
Good afternoon, Ms. On. You have been charged in case 25 CR 001815B with criminal trespass. Is there a history?
Fourth arrest. Everything come out of 2018. 2 trespasses and a disorderly conduct conviction.
Okay.
Ye-
Ms. Ajizo?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident is from April 6, 2025. The location is the Eco Commons at Georgia Tech, located at 881 Himville Avenue Northwest, Atlanta, Georgia. Your Honor, on the day of the incident, the defendant was at the location. She had been issued a lifetime ban from Georgia Tech campus on April 4th, 2025. The 2018 criminal trespass cases were also at Georgia Tech. The state's recommendation is a signature bond through pretrial, stay away from Georgia Tech, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while on bond, and a social service visit just because she keeps going back to Georgia Tech. That's all for the state, Your Honor.
Mr. Chatai?
I do not object to the state's recommendations, and I asked for a social worker visit based on my conversation with her.
And what is it that we can help Ms. On with, Mr. Chatai specifically?
I think housing. She informed me that she's homeless, so
Okay.
she may need help with housing.
All right. Does she have a any way that we can get her mail, or that she can get her mail?
I don't know, Your Honor. I didn't discuss that with her. I didn't get an address from her, but I believe Kia is on the line. I asked her to check on Miss On for housing and other assistance that she may need.
I'm sorry, say it again, should I?
Oh, I was saying that I emailed you about Miss Han earlier today.
Oh, okay. I can speak with a judge to see what services I can help with.
Sorry, excuse me. Sorry, it was Miss. I emailed Kasha, not you, Kia.
Oh
Sorry.
yeah, she's out, so I'm covering for her. That's okay.
Oh, you're covering for her. That's
Yeah,
it. Okay.
she's out today.
My apologies.
That's okay.
All right. So The two other criminal trespasses, were they were convictions in,
They just show as arrest.
or as arrest, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. Stay away from Georgia Tech. Social worker visit to assist with housing. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, ma'am.
This would be per judge as well, due to no address.
Okay, we're gonna have a conversation about this, Mr. Howard.
Okay.
All right. Who do we have next?
Texas position 11, Mr. Kenny.
Good afternoon, Mr. Kenny. You have been charged in case 25 CR 001824H with criminal trespass. It's my understanding that this is Mr. Kenny's first arrest.
And a resident of St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Dunlap?
Thank you, Your Honor. This incident date happened yesterday on the 6th at 3540 Woodhaven Road. Officers responded to a call regarding a trespasser. The caller advised there was an intruder inside his residence and wouldn't leave his home. The caller advised that his wife and kids were home, and upon arrival, they spoke to the female in the residence who stated everything was okay. Officers continued to ask questions regarding the burglary call to when they got to the front steps, to which the defendant appeared at the door, came outside and stated that he was in the home and that the victim, who was the caller in this case, Sussus, Suhas, last name Uppalapati, who was the caller, was kicking him out. Officers detained the defendant. The victim in this case, who was the caller, stated that he was in his bedroom sleeping when the defendant opened his door and told him to get out of his house. The victim told the defendant to leave, but he would not, and the victim went and got a pistol to protect himself. As Mr. Howard mentioned, he is a resident of St. Louis. It was kind of unclear if Mr. Kenny lived at this address, but as we stated, he lives in St. Louis. The state is looking for a $2,000 surety bond in this case. A stay away from 3540 Woodhaven Road. No further contact with the victim. Suhas, Uppalapati, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. And we can stop for the victim when appropriate.
Who is that again, please?
I believe the first name is Sussus. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that. I'm not really sure the correct pronunciation.
If that person is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity. Doesn't appear so. Mr. Chatai?
Yes, Judge. My client is 27 years old. Although he is an out-of-state resident, he is moving into the property. He is establishing his residence here in Georgia. He informed me that he bought the house last year and he denies the allegations made by the state. My client has a bachelor's degree in business administration, and for 1 month now, he has been a sales representative for Weedman Lawn Care, and he's been doing that for a month. For those reasons, Judge, I asked the court to consider a signature bond. This is a criminal trespass case, and he has no record.
Your Honor, can I just clarify something? Because there was a bit of confusion the way the warrant was written and what Mr. Shai is saying. Is he saying this is his house?
Right. He denies the allegations on the warrant.
Right, but is he saying he resides at this address? Because they called and said that he was trespassing and that there was the victim's wife and kids were home, and you're saying that he said that he bought the home last year. So is this his house? Is he saying he bought this house?
Yes, that's what my client told me.
All right, so he's gonna have to stay away from it until it's all cleared up, Mr. Chatai, whether he owns it or not, or I'm not sure, but as far as bond goes, it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from the Woodhaven Road address until it's cleared up, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Kenny.
Next is add-on 1, Mr. Cross. Take it to the front.
Good afternoon, Cross. You with me? Let me know when you're ready, Mr. Cross. You ready? Okay, so you've been charged in case 25 CR 001829E with willful obstruction of law enforcement officers and pedestrian in the roadway. Is your history, Mr. Howard?
Second, 2024 trespass obstruction. It's 24 CR 001365E.
Okay, Ms. Melgizo?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident is from April 6, 2025. On the day of the incident, several people flagged down officers and stated that the defendant was yelling and acting aggressive. Officers saw the defendant walking along 8th Street, Atlanta, Georgia, and asked the defendant to stop. The defendant ignored the officers. It was Officer Jones and Officer Ricks of the Georgia State University Police Department. He ignored their verbal commands, began to run north on Cypress Street Northeast. The defendant ran west through the middle of Peachtree Place Northeast, obstructing traffic and causing vehicles to abruptly stop, putting himself and others in danger. Officers were finally able to secure the defendant and place him under arrest. He does have the open case for criminal trespass and willful obstruction of law enforcement. For these reasons, the state's recommendation is a $1,000 surety bond, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while on bond.
Ms. Melgizo, why were they seeking to stop him?
He was yelling and acting aggressive. He threw an object at a large group of people. He was originally charged with disorderly conduct as well, but that charge was NOD'd because there was not a specific victim that we could identify.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Chatai?
Just a moment. Let me refer to my notes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Yes, my client is 20 years old, Judge. He's a lifelong resident of Atlanta, Georgia. He has strong ties to the community. He has a high school diploma, and he also has a diploma from mechanics school. His high school is Midtown High School, and he earned his mechanics degree at Napa Auto Parts. Currently, he is a contract welder for Glassbox. He cuts metal and welds, and he has been doing that for the past 3 years. Given his age and the fact that, as well, according to the public safety assessment report, he has no convictions and no failures to appear. I ask this court to consider a signature bond, otherwise the lowest surety amount possible that would secure his return.
He has his hand up, Mr. Chatai. Does he need some assistance with a social worker?
I don't believe so, Judge. I was able to communicate with him, and I didn't see a need for a social worker. If courtroom 2 could unmute, Mr. Cross, do you have a question about bond or bond procedures?
No, I do not. I wanted to say something about what Miss Melguzo, I'm sorry, I don't want to mispronounce her name. But she said something about me throwing objects at a large group of people, and
Okay, Mr. Cross, I advise you not to talk about your case here. These hearings are being recorded, and whatever you say can be used against you in future proceedings. So, if you have concerns about the case itself or the charges or anything of that sort, you'll have another attorney assigned to you later, and you could talk to them about your case in private. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right, so for each charge, it's going to be a $50 good bond, makes for a total of $100 good bond. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Cross.
Next is add-on 2, Mr. Gay.
Good afternoon, Mr. Gay. You have been charged in case 25 CR 001830Y with criminal trespass and willful obstruction of law enforcement officers. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
20. Open trespass in Superior Court, 24 PI 006905. On probation for trespass in State Court. You want the case numbers? It's two of them, one from 2024, one from 2025.
I have him here. Thank you.
On probation for entering auto, first offender, 2025 FTA, 2024 probation, 2024 obstruction trespass conviction, another 2024 trespass conviction, 2023 trespass first offender, 2023 trespass loitering problem conviction, 2023 FTA, 2022 burglary arrest.
Okay. Ms. Melchiza?
Yes, Your Honor, this incident is from April 4th, 2025. The location is Valero Gas Station, located at 1980 Delow Drive Southwest, Atlanta, Georgia, 30311. Your Honor, on the day of the incident, the victim, Kareem Kaba, he works at the Valero, called the police. He stated that he had asked the defendant to leave the location. Several times he had been trespassed multiple times at this location. He has a criminal trespass conviction from 2023 with the same victim at the same location. That's 23 CR 000550C. And when the officers arrived, the defendant was still at the location. He refused to leave. The defendant attempted to flee, but Officer Jay Watson of the Atlanta Police Department was able to secure him. However, the defendant resisted. He refused to put his hands behind his back. He kept tensing up his arms against his chest. The officer actually had to tase him in order to successfully place him in handcuffs. Your Honor, for these reasons, the state recommendation is a $1,000 surety bond. No further contact with Kareem Kaba, the employee at the Valero, and stay away from the Valero gas station located at 1980 Delow Drive Southwest. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons while on bond.
Time?
Yes, Judge. According to the public safety assessment, Mr. Gay does not have any violent convictions on his record. He is not a threat to the community. He's 26 years old. He's been a lifelong Atlanta resident. He has strong ties to the community as well. He has a high school diploma. He attended Carver High School. He's currently seeking employment through the PAD program, but in the meantime, he is working for his father's business. He works for that business on a part-time basis. He does cleanup work in apartments and houses. For those reasons, Judge, I asked the court to consider the possibility of a signature bond. But if the court is unwilling, then the lowest surety amount possible that would secure his return.
Okay, for each charge will be a $500 good bond, makes for a total of $1,000 good bond. Stay away from the Valero on Delow Drive. No further contact with the alleged victim. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck, Mr. Gay. Who do we have next?
Judge, that's all we have until Mr. McLean gets back.
Okay. Anyone at ACDC? Are those both Mr. McLean's clients?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, looks like the Madam Interpreter's back, so
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. McLean was just talking to a second person that he needed to speak to, and he will be joining us right back.
okay, thank you.
Excuse me, Judge Morrow. What was the reset date for position number 3, Mr. Acquart?
Ms. Bridgewater, when was that competency calendar for position 3?
Position 3, give me just a second, I'll tell you. 4/9, April 9th.
Okay. We'll be in recess
No,
until Mr.
No,
McLean.
no. If we're resetting the SAP for 4/22, it'll be 4/24. I apologize.
Thank you, Ms. Bridgewater.
You're welcome, sir.
All right, Mr. McLean, are you ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor, on Mr. Gary White, who I just interviewed, who's an add-on, and Mr. Julio Lopez, the interpreter's case.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't know what just happened. I'll call it you. Shit, I don't know what just happened.
Is this Mr. Lopez in courtroom 2 here?
It is.
Good afternoon, Mr. Lopez. You have been charged in case 25 CR 001812A, was driving under the influence of alcohol less safe, willful obstruction of law enforcement officers, driving without a valid license, and another count of willful obstruction of law enforcement officers.
Buenas tardes, señor López. Usted está en el tribunal. Ha sido usted acusado con conducir bajo la influencia del alcohol con menor capacidad para conducir, obstrucción voluntaria a los agentes del orden público, conducir sin una licencia válida para conducir. Su caso es del 25 CR 001812A.
Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Second, 2025, driving without a valid license. Out of Ashburn, Georgia.
Y el juez pregunta sobre cualquier antecedente. Y sí, tuvo un... I'm sorry, can you repeat that date for the interpreter, please?
2025.
I'm sorry, again?
2025.
Right. I thought there was a month. I apologize.
No, I didn't. I just said the year. That's all.
Okay, no problem. And did you say Ashburn, Georgia?
Correct.
Okay. El otro caso, el otro antecedente, sucedió en el 2025 en la ciudad de Ashburn, en Georgia.
Fuck.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident happened back on, let's see, April 6th at 230 Fielding Lane in Alpharetta.
Este incidente ocurrió en el 230 Fielding Lane en Alpharetta el 6 de abril del 2025.
A call came in about a person who was DUI, and the officers used the cameras to check the area and located the vehicle on Mansell Road.
Una llamada indicó, llamaron para decir que había una persona que estaba conduciendo bajo la influencia del alcohol. Los agentes de policía utilizaron las cámaras y ubicaron el vehículo en la calle Mansell Road.
Officers made contact with the defendant, asked if he was driving, and the defendant said yes. He was also had an open container of ready-to-drink margarita in his vehicle.
La agente de policía le preguntó si es que estaba conduciendo y había estado bebiendo. Contestó que sí. Y la parte de la policía encontró un contenedor, una botella de margarita dentro del vehículo.
Family members at the residence told police that the defendant had been drinking, became belligerent and irritated, and got into his vehicle and left while under the influence, and they called 911 to report the DUI.
Los familiares indicaron que el señor había estado en su residencia tomando y bebiendo y que se puso mal y peleón. Entonces se levantó y se fue manejando su vehículo. Entonces que los familiares mismos llamaron por teléfono para reportar el que estaba conduciendo bajo la influencia de alcohol.
Officers were able to use the cameras at the racetrack on Mansell Road to show that the defendant had driven to the racetrack, purchased the margarita that he had in his possession, and drove back from the racetrack.
Los agentes de policía pudieron determinar por las cámaras en la gasolinera de Racetrack que el acusado fue a la gasolinera, compró el mezclador de margarita y estaba saliendo de la gasolinera de Racetrack.
The defendant became belligerent with the officers. They could smell the odor of alcohol, and he was swaying as well as had bloodshot, watery, and glassy eyes.
El acusado se puso a pelear con los agentes de policía. Ellos sintieron el aroma, el olor a alcohol, y aparte de eso no estaba congruente.
The defendant did not have a license on his person. He only had a Mexican passport. And when they took him into custody, he tried to walk away while being handcuffed and had to be forcibly placed in the patrol car.
Se descubrió que no tenía licencia de conducir válida, nada más tenía su pasaporte mexicano, y cuando le pusieron las esposas para ponerlo bajo custodia, intentó escaparse, lo que hizo que los agentes de policía lo pusieran a la fuerza dentro de la patrulla.
We are requesting a $3,500 surety bond, $1,000 on each charge and $500 on the no license.
Estamos pidiendo un bono asegurado de fianza de $3,500. $1,000 por cada cargo, cada acusación, y $500 por conducir sin licencia de conducir.
We are also asking as conditions of this bond for no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and no driving without a valid license.
Como condición de esta fianza, estamos también pidiendo que no use alcohol ni drogas durante el tiempo que esté bajo fianza, ni cargue ningún arma y que no puede conducir sin una licencia de conducir válida.
That's all for this.
Eso es todo de parte de la Fiscalía.
Mr. McLean?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Lopez is a welder. He is a high school graduate. He has worked before the welding and solar panel installation and in the grocery store. He's been here several years with community contacts. As the state read out, his relatives are here. We would ask the court to consider the lowest legal bond possible in the situation. He has enough contacts, he won't be missing court.
Entonces le pregunta el juez a su abogado defensor y el señor McLean indica que el señor López es un soldador y aparte se graduó de la preparatoria. Antes de soldar trabajaba con paneles solares y también con alimentos. Él ha estado aquí por varios años y tiene familiares aquí en el estado y en la ciudad. Y están pidiendo al juez, a su señoría, el bono de fianza lo más bajo posible.
Okay, for the DUI will be a $1,250 good bond. For each of the other charges will be a $250 good bond, makes for a total of a $2,000 good bond.
Ok, para el por el cargo de manejar bajo la influencia de alcohol es un bono de fianza de $1,250 asegurado. Y por los otros cargos, $250 cada uno, lo cual da un total en un bono de fianza de $2,000.
No driving without a valid license, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Y orden judicial de no manejar, no conducir sin licencia de manejo válida y no puede usar drogas, ni alcohol, ni cargar armas mientras está bajo fianza, mientras está libre bajo fianza.
Good luck to you, Mr. Lopez.
Buena suerte, señor López.
Do we need Madam Interpreter for any other cases this afternoon?
I don't think so.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it. As
You're
always.
welcome, Your Honor. You have a good afternoon.
You do the same. Thank you.
Bye now.
Next is position 12, Ms. Knox.
Okay. And where is Ms. Knox?
ACDC, Your Honor.
Okay. Good afternoon, Ms. Knox. You have been charged in case 25 CR 001825G with battery family violence and simple battery family violence. It's my understanding that this is Ms. Knox's first arrest. Ms. Dunlap.
Thank you, Your Honor. This incident date happened on April 5th, 2025 at 711 Lyndhurst Drive Southwest. Officers responded to a domestic disturbance at this address. Defendant stated that her husband had become upset with her and accused her of cheating on him. They exchanged words. He started to charge at her and striking her in the face area and beginning to choke her, breaking her necklaces. The victim in this case is her husband, DeMarco Knox, who stated to the cops they returned from a party after they had a few drinks. He asked her about her phone being on silent. She became irate and threw a clothing hamper at him and started to strike him and scratched him, to which he pushed her off of him and she called the police. Officers didn't observe any injuries on Miss Knox, but they did observe several injuries on Mr. Knox, which is why she was arrested and taken into custody. We did have a chance to speak with the victim. He stated they are married. They live together at the incident location. They share 2 children. He confirmed the events in a warrant. He stated like nothing like this has ever happened before. He's not in fear of the defendant and wants to continue contact and wants her to return back to the residence. He stated he will be on Zoom and so we can sign for the victim when appropriate. Given the incident date, we're still going to ask for a stay away and no further contact to give a significant cooling off period. So the state is looking for a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial, 1 day anger awareness from Ms. Knox, a stay away from 711 Lyndhurst Drive, Southwest in Atlanta. No further contact with DeMarco Knox, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond, and we can sound for the victim when appropriate.
Mr. Knox, I see you on the line. If you wish to address the court, I'll need for you to unmute yourself, activate your camera for me, please. Yes, sir. If you raise your yes, sir. If you raise your right hand for me. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can place your hand down, Mr. Knox. What would you like to tell the court?
My wife is not a threat. I don't see why she has to be on non-contact. It's the first time it ever happened. 8 years we've been together, 3 years married. I need a home because I deal with seizures and she takes care of me.
Thank you for being here this afternoon, Mr. Knox. We appreciate it.
No problem.
Mr. McLean? If you're talking, Mr. McLean, you're on mute.
Sorry, thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Knox is 35. She has a degree in a master's degree in higher education leadership. She also has a degree in higher education, middle education as well. Her bachelor's is in that, so she's got more than one degree in that general area. She, in February of 2025, has been unemployed, so that's very recent, and she is looking forward to having her next job in her field. She is a graduate of, she had been teaching, I think, at Du Bois Integrity Academy. Your Honor, we would ask for the court to allow the signature bond, but to also allow no further violent contact.
Okay, for the battery, it will be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. The simple battery, a $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1, makes for a total of a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. No further violent contact with Mr. Knox. 1 day anger awareness, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you both, Mr. and Ms. Knox.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next, Your Honor, is position 20, Ms. Wilder.
Good afternoon, Ms. Wilder. You have been charged in case 25 CR 001810F with criminal trespass and damage to property. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Fifth arrest, 2022 FTA, 2019 FTA, 2019 battery DV, cruelty in the third conviction, 2019 simple battery DV conviction, 2012 battery DV.
Yes, Ms. Fall.
Yes, Your Honor. So this incident happened in October of 2024. And Ms. Wilder, October 30th of 2024 to be exact, at 222 Tuskegee Street. Ms. Ebony Wilder stated that her sister, the defendant, was causing a verbal disturbance because Ms. Ebony Wilder had 3 of her children. This is Shamika Wilder, correct?
Yes.
Just making sure. Okay. Ms. Ebony Wilder stated that she asked the defendant to leave and close the door. The defendant then kicked the door, causing the wood frame to be damaged. We did have an opportunity to speak with Ms. Ebony Wilder. She stated she and the defendant are sisters. They do not live together. She did confirm the events of the warrant, and she stated she did have to pay $175 to get the door fixed. She stated nothing like this had ever happened before, and she has seen the defendant since this incident, and there has been no other altercation. She stated she is okay with no further violent contact, but would like to stay away from her residence. And Ms. Wilder stated she will be here on Zoom, so we will sound for her in a moment. As you've heard, this defendant does have several convictions for family violence. 2019 family violence battery and cruel children in the third degree conviction from DeKalb County. a 2019 simple battery family violence conviction from Fulton County that did not involve the same individual. That individual was Lester Johnson. And she also has FTAs from March of 2022 out of Fulton and November of 2019 out of DeKalb. The reason I point these particular things out is because of the likelihood of not coming to court, as well as the likelihood of reoffense, given that there is a history of family violence here, and this did involve a family member. For that reason, we are agreeable to reducing the $3,000 surety bond to a $1,000 surety bond. Stay away from 222 Tuskegee Street and no further violent contact with Ms. Ebony Wilder, as well as 2 anger management classes and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. We would at this time like to sound from Ms. Ebony Wilder.
Ms. Wilder is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity. Mr. McLean.
Your Honor, Shamika Wilder's 37, and she's been in Georgia all her life. 11th grade education, she worked as a Waffle House waitress for an entire 19-year period. Recently, she has been poisoned. I think the case is under investigation, and so she is unemployed at the moment, and she wouldn't be able to afford any bond whatsoever other than a signature bond. We would ask for a signature bond despite the FTAs, if that is at all possible. She's recovering from this anthrax poisoning, and we wish her the best of luck.
All right. Given the nature of the charge, it's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. No further violent contact with Ms. Wilder. Stay away from the Tuskegee address. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Ms. Wilder, I'm giving you the opportunity to sign yourself out, but if you don't show back up to court, they're going to put a warrant out for you. You won't get a signature bond next time. You hear me? All right. Good luck to you, ma'am.
Your Honor, did you order the anger management classes?
No, I'm not.
I just say that because of the history and because of this incident.
Given the nature of the, I'm reticent to order the anger management at this time.
Yes, Your Honor.
Who do we have next? Are we anybody else at ACDC this afternoon, Officer Milton?
No, Your Honor, we're finished. Thank you. May
Okay.
we be-
Yes, I'll see you next time. Thank you.
Your Honor, I could finish up that phone call with Grady if there's another case with anybody else.
Yes. I think that you're the only attorney that's left, Mr. McLean. I think these are all yours, is my understanding.
Very good.
We have 2 more over here.
Okay. All right. So who do we have next?
3 more, I'm sorry. First is Mr. McCorvey, position 15.
Okay. Mr. McCorvey, you have been charged in case 25 CR 001826A with simple battery family violence. Your history, Mr. Howard?
7, 2016 simple battery dismissed. That's all.
Okay. Ms. Dunlap?
Thank you, Your Honor. This incident date happened yesterday on the 6th at 610 Lakeside View in South Fulton. Officers responded to a domestic dispute. It was an anonymous caller who said they heard a female screaming for the residents behind their home on the next street. When the officers got to the next street, they were flagged down by a Miss Raven Green, and the victim in this case, a Miss Erin James, who stated, Miss Green stated that she witnessed a physical altercation between Miss James and the defendant while he attempted to forcibly remove her from the passenger side of Miss Green's vehicle. I want to state for the record, it's unclear whether this is his car or Miss Green's car because the warrant says 2 different things. Miss James stated the defendant grabbed her by her leg and attempted to forcibly remove her from his vehicle. Officers observed visible injuries such as red marks on her neck, broken and bleeding fingernails on her right index finger. Her pants were torn, exposing her leg. She stated he also took her phone and her keys, prevented her from moving the car from the garage. The defendant did deny taking her phone and keys. She was able to retrieve it from his drawer in the house at a later point. The state is looking for a $2,000 surety bond on this case. No further contact with the victim, Erin James. A stay away from 610 Side View in South Fulton, 1-day anger awareness, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. It doesn't look like we were able to get in contact with Ms. James, but we could sound for her when appropriate, just in case.
Ms. Erin James is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity. Doesn't appear so. Mr. McLean? You're on mute, Mr. McLean.
Thank you. Your Honor, he is 39. He has stable address. He's got good phone numbers. I've tried them. He is a Morehouse graduate from the year 2009, marketing and economics. He is involved in restaurant ownership with about 4 different restaurants that he named to me in the metro area that have good reputations. We would ask the court for the lowest possible bond in this situation, a signature bond if it is possible, and a 1,000 surety if it is not.
A $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. No further contact with Erin James. Stay away from her residential address. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, sir.
Next is position 16, Mr. Owens.
Good afternoon, Mr. Owens. You have been charged in case 25 CR 001827E with driving under the influence of alcohol less safe. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
11. Got an open drug case out of Atkinson County. 2013 possession of cocaine NOLO. 2014 possession of meth and cocaine conviction. 2012 suspended license DUI conviction.
Mr. Howard, the warrant stated that he had a DUI less safe warrant out of Marietta. Did you see that? Because I couldn't see it on his GCI state.
Oh, let me take a peek.
Okay. In the meantime, Your Honor, this incident date happened on the 5th of April, 2025 at 3840 Welcome All Road. I believe this is a extended stay location. Officers responded to a single car crash and they spoke with the manager at this location, who advised that there was a car attempting to leave, hit the fence near the sidewalk, and while attempting to recorrect the running into the fence, they ran over the curb. He advised that the male that got out of the car seemed to be intoxicated. Officers then located the defendant sitting on the side of the building. He had cuts to his hand, blood on his shirt. He told officers he had been drinking, but he wasn't driving the car. He had smelled of alcohol. Officers went back in the car. They found alcohol inside the vehicle. All the airbags on the vehicle were deployed. Upon running his background, the officer saw that he had active warrants with it said DUI less safe out of Marietta. And he eventually told officers that he was the one driving the car and that he had been drinking with a friend inside before attempting to leave the location. The state is looking for a signature bond through pretrial. I'll defer to the court regarding the amount. No driving while intoxicated and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while on bond.
Yes, he is wanted out of Marietta.
Thank
For
you.
DUI? Mr. Howard?
Let's see. The offense says dangerous drugs. Original charges meth, the DUI less safe combined.
Okay, thank you.
An open container.
Thank you. Mr. McLean?
Your Honor, Mr. Owens is 49. He lived at a stable address. He's been working here in Georgia for quite some time. He's with quality control in a large electrical construction company, and in the past he has done supervision and lead work in commercial electric work, light industrial work. So he's a high school graduate and has a very good career. We would ask the court to consider the state's idea and also to consider just the lowest possible bond.
All right, it's going to be $1,000 good bond. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Owens.
Next is add-on 5, Mr. White.
Good afternoon, Mr. White. You have been charged in case 25 CR 0018311 with simple battery. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
First.
Thank you. Who's presenting for the state?
It's me, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Fall.
This incident happened at it's a state-run facility for persons with mental and physical disabilities at 2729 Benjamin E. Mays Drive Southwest. It happened on April 6th. The defendant, who's 24 years of age, pushed down 62-year-old Gina Williams. Tracy Cruz, who's one of the individuals who is a caretaker at the home, stated she heard a commotion and then saw Williams on the floor. They went back and reviewed the video footage, and it showed the defendant push her to the ground. And when questioned, the defendant stated, "I got upset." We did have an opportunity to speak with Ms. Faye Clark, who runs the facility. She did confirm the events in the warrant. She stated the defendant is not allowed to return back to the facility because he has been a problem in the past regarding targeting other residents in the facility. She stated they have called the police on this defendant numerous times before, but this is the first time he's actually been arrested. And she stated the defendant will need a one-time law enforcement escort to pick up his belongings. She also indicated that Miss Williams, the victim in this case, is doing well and is unharmed. I will sound for Miss Clark, as she is the operator of this state-run facility and the guardian of these individuals inside. She stated she may be here on the Zoom. We are agreeable to a $2,000 signature bond with a stay away from 2729 Benjamin E. Mays Drive. He may return one time with a law enforcement escort for his belongings. He is to have no further contact with Gina Williams or Tracy Cruz. We would at this time like to sound for Miss Faye Clark.
Ms. Clark, I see you on the line. If you would like to address the court, now is your opportunity. You certainly don't have to, but if you would like to, I'll need for you to activate your camera and unmute yourself for me.
Okay, yes, I am the manager of the,
Ms. Clark, do you have more than one device activated?
hold on 1 second.
You're getting feedback, that's why I'm asking it. I'll need for you to come on camera as well.
Oh, jeez, okay. Hello, can you see me?
No, ma'am, I can't see you. There you go.
There I go.
All right, very good. If you can raise your right hand for me, please, ma'am. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Okay, thank you. You can place your hand down, Ms. Clark. What would you like to tell the court?
Okay, as it was just stated, my company, who I run the home, but in community is the providers for these homes, and they are stating that they do not want Gary White to come back to this home because of the assault on the individual in this home. So that's really all I have to say at this point, speaking for in community of Georgia.
Thank you for being here this afternoon, Ms. Clark.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Mr. McLean, any objection to any of the state's requests?
I can't think that I could have any, Your Honor. One of his relatives and I told that person that we might go into breakout if we need to discuss housing arrangements. But if they don't need to talk to the court in a breakout room about those, we could go ahead and we would agree to the signature bond, Your
Honor. Okay.
Your Honor.
The point, we're not setting him up for failure, are we, ma'am?
Hello. Hello.
Yes, ma'am. I can hear you, but you're gonna have to come on camera for me.
Just I'm trying to work it. I'm trying to do that. I'm right here. Let me get it. Just 1 second. It's too dark.
Okay.
All right, here I go.
Okay, now if you can raise your right hand for me, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. You can place your hand down. Now, who are you to Gary White?
So I'm Amoy White. I'm Gary's mom.
Okay, and what would you like to tell the court?
So I am surprised Miss Faye is coming up with Gary, no return for Gary, when what is going on is result of whatever treatment Gary has received. And I'm not condoling Gary's behavior, but that's a little bit steep as far as no return. Gary has been with in community since November. And for some reason, in March, everything just started going downhill for Gary. In January, Miss Faye and the others went and put Gary on this medication that he's not supposed to be on. And so, without me knowing about it. So, when I found out that they put him on Respidol, and I was wondering why he was behaving like this, all this aggression and so forth.
Your
And
Honor, I'm just going to go ahead and object. It seems like we're kind of getting into some MH issues and some other issues that I don't really think are appropriate for a recorded YouTube broadcast discussion. So if we do need to have a breakout, I think now would be an appropriate time.
Okay, well,
Okay.
breakout is fine because I need to say what I have to say. So breakout is fine.
Completely
Okay.
understand, ma'am.
Yes.
So what I'm not gonna have a breakout room. I'm gonna finish my court session here and then we're gonna go off the YouTube so that we can discuss. So if you wouldn't mind giving me a few moments. What I really need to know, Miss White, and I understand, I'm happy to let you say what you're gonna say. Is Gary gonna have a place to go? They don't want him back at the facility at the present time. We're not going to litigate that here today. This is only a bond hearing. I'm going to give him a signature bond that he's allowed to sign himself. I just need to make sure that he has a place to go.
At this time, I think his social worker is on also. I don't have where for Gary to go. And if I could take care of Gary, Gary would not be with them. So it's a story. So
Okay.
his social worker is supposed to be on the Zoom also.
Do you have the name of the social worker?
Yeah, Karen, Miss Karen. Are you there?
It does
Miss
not
Faye?
appear. Okay, so let me complete my calendar and I'll be back with you, Miss White.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, we'll have to come back to Mr. Gary White in a moment. Do we have anybody else in courtroom 2 that we can take?
Okay, I'm here now.
Oh, she's there.
My
Okay.
apologies. I was trying to unmute.
You're fine, Miss. I think that's Miss Warfield. Give me a moment, Miss Warfield.
Okay.
Courtroom, is there anybody in courtroom 2 there, deputies?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, do we have anybody else that we need to take in courtroom 2 this afternoon?
No, he's the last person.
No? Oh.
Where's Mr. Phillips?
Phillips and hold on 1 second.
Phillips in Washington.
Yeah,
Right, I have Washington.
image resets.
And Your Honor, if I can ask, and I mean, we can try to address Mr. Washington, but Mr. Washington has been on our competency calendar before. Is there a way that Mr. P.D. McLean, if you can either yourself or have P.D. Bartels go out and sign a waiver so we can just place him on the next competency calendar?
Right. My intention was to get Mr. Bartels on Mr. Washington's case.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So what do we need? Do we still need to reset him for tomorrow to go ahead and do that?
We will still need to reset him for tomorrow, but I'm just hoping that we can get that waiver signed in the interim.
Okay, thank you. So we'll reset position 15, Mr. Washington, for tomorrow, 4-8. Was that also position 17, Leon Phillips? Is he reset?
It sounds like he is an MH reset as well.
Thank you. Yeah, so he'll be reset for 4-8. And what about the add-on, Mr. McLean, John Lewis?
Your Honor, I have Grady Hospital on the line, and they can have him speak to me. And if I think it'd be a brief conversation for him to consent to me to sign a signature bond for him, a consent order that the state and I are proposing to the court for a signature bond. I just need to make sure he's got a place to be and that he won't miss court.
So you've already talked to the prosecutors about a consent?
Yes, Your Honor. I proffered a $500 signature bond through the jail with no return, a stay away from MARTA. MARTA issued a 365-day stay away to the defendant, so he would have to stay away until April of 2026. The PI is urination, so it's not that type of offense. Yeah.
All right. So if
So
you all,
that's what led me to make that offer.
okay, very good. Thank you, Ms. Falk. If you all will get that consent when you get it entered into to Ms. Bridgewater, she'll get it to me, Mr. McLean, and I'll get them signed with all the others. Okay.
Excellent.
All right. So that means that we only have Mr. White here. So can we go off the YouTube, please?
How that works.
No, not you, Miss White. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. Miss Grace, you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, can we go off the YouTube, please?
Yes, sir.